Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I've been meaning to talk a little bit about weddings for a while, and I saw this story in the mainstream headlines the last couple days, so I'm using it as an excuse to talk about it. And if you've seen these headlines, these two acrobats, choreographed dancers, Cheetah Platt and Rion Woodyard, are getting married in 11 different countries and having 38 ceremonies. And I want to show you how these numbers were picked out. Some stories say 79 days, others say 83 days. We'll get into that as well. But check this out. First of all, the male's name is Cheetah Platt. Cheetah Platt has the Pythagorean gematria of 47. And the wife-to-be, Rianne Woodyard, has the gematria of 79. And they're doing this 79-day wedding trip, supposedly, in 11 countries. Notice that 79 has a numerology of 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 and 11. And up here they use the word epic. They like to code their 33 in the headlines. Once upon a time when I was trying to figure out the meaning of this 33, I was telling myself, this is like a long, ongoing narrative. This coding of 33, our entire history seems to be this long, ongoing narrative of the 33. And one day I turned on the TV. It wasn't long after I got cable, so April 2014. The word epic kept flashing on the screen for this commercial in huge flashing letters. And I said, what is the gematria of epic? And sure enough, it was 33, and I got a big grin on my face. And I said, exactly. We're living out an epic, but we don't realize it. We're living out a predetermined course. The word destiny sums to 33 with Pythagorean gematria. Anyhow, with regards to wedding, it has very curious gematria, the word itself. Wedding with simple English gematria sums to 66. And what's interesting about 66 is that if you take the first 11 numbers and add them all together, 1 through 11, it equals 66. The word family also equals 66 with simple English gematria, as does the word woman. And on the wedding, as most of us know, it really is more about the woman, from the dress to the presentation to the ceremony. The man has to ask the permission of the father for the daughter traditionally. A lot more focus on the woman. But True Seeker, what I notice about these numbers and the things they're on, they almost all seem like tricks or traps. From automobiles to even marriage. They're enticing, they have benefits, they can make life more exciting, they can bring us happiness. But they, like all things, they're a double-edged sword. And what I've noticed in my time on this planet, from my own parents to my friends' parents, to other family relationships, to, people you don't even know that well, I realize there's so much strife within marriage and families. And there's a variety of explanations for this. But as I decode the words and I see these continuous patterns in them, it makes me think how ill thought out the plan might have been for all this time. More recently, I thought most marriages didn't work because we've been divided, or, well, we have been divided, but families have been divided by the need for work. Both parents now work in the home. Kids are off at school. Families are constantly working and having to work more and more, even in their personal lives. And students are having more and more, pressure put on them, from academic performance to extracurriculars. It's just that there's more opening for stress, more opening for tension. And perhaps if our future has really been planned out for this long, so was the destruction of the family. and having it all wrong from the beginning with the marriage and the wedding. You know, the other thing that I think about with weddings and marriage, it almost feels like a property type thing. So much of this world has become about ownership, having your own land, having your own property, you know, your own borders. And essentially, what a marriage is two people agreeing that they belong to each other and no one else. And unfortunately, the downside of that in society is we see it. We see all the cheating and the dishonesty and the lying. And, you know, I think most of us as people can understand why so many people run into these problems. I've never even been married, and for good reason. I've always said I don't want to be married. I had a sister who's 13 years older than me. I shouldn't say I have. And I remember being 12 years old, and she was getting to that age where she was getting ready to get married, and she was so excited about it, and she was talking about it. Someday I'll get to go through all this. And I told her even back then that I didn't think I wanted to get married. I'd already seen enough grumpy parents constantly bickering and fighting and arguing with each other. Like I said, my own to others, and I just knew there had to be a logical reason for it. So here I am as a 31-year-old, and I've already seen so many of my friends get married and divorced. It's crazy to think about. And what I say instead is I wish we lived in a world where, you know, we just had real community. I think it's community that we need. And that phrase, a village to raise a child. Because in this society, two parents aren't getting it done. Why? Because they're working away from their children and too stressed out when they come home to do what they need to do as parents. It's an epidemic. And I think from the beginning, from the wedding on, we're set up for failure. And that's why it's coded with these numbers. It's a trap. And look at what they have most couples do with their wedding. Get themselves in so much debt, they're already in a financial burden. You know? You better have a lot of fun on your wedding and your honeymoon because you might be working real hard for the next decade to pay it off. And there's going to be a lot of stress from that. And as a society, you know, the mainstreamers, they like to have this attitude of everything's just fine and march along, but they're all dealing with these epidemics. Cheating on their spouses, not loving their children and their families as they should. And here it is. Here's another story. To me, carrying on the lie of the wedding, the marriage, the family, and look, making the thoughts out there for what a wedding should be about be even more extravagant. People are already blowing their futures on their weddings, and now they have the bar stepped up a little bit higher. I mean, it'd be interesting to see over the next decade if this becomes a trend. You know, maybe banks start lending out even more money. Instead of getting a house, you go on your 11-country vacation. your 11-country wedding ceremony. We'll see. Things are changing fast, and not for the better. So thank you, Cheetah Platt and Rianne Woodyard, for your numerology-coded event. What I wanted to say is 79, like this says 79-day wedding. 79 is the 22nd prime number. The next one is 83. And other headlines from Fox News to other major news sources are saying it's an 83-day wedding ceremony with 38 ceremonies. These numbers that are reflections of each other, both with 11 numerology. 8 plus 3 is 11, 3 plus 8 is 11. So, I mean, just look at this. Oh, boy. If you do that, it'll be eternal happiness. Your family will be great. Your life will be great. Not so. The things that bring happiness are having time to spend with your family and loved ones. And that's what we need to bring back. And we could all do that if we had community, local agriculture, if families worked together for their own survival like it was once upon a time. Now we've all been herded into boxes. We don't even know our neighbors. Most of these people in the boxes went through the wedding ceremony at some point. Oh boy. I'm just ranting at this point. Alright, Truth Seeker. Until next